Yeah, look at that. Pretty awesome. It's nice and soft and flaky on the sides. Amazing. Hello and welcome to In the Kitchen with Matt. I am your host, Matt Taylor. Today, I'm going to show you how to make no yeast cinnamon rolls. Oh yeah, these cinnamon rolls are super quick to make and you can have them start to finish in about an hour. That's pretty awesome. And again, no yeast required. Really easy to do, simple ingredients. If I can do it, you can do it. Before I move on, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on any of my new videos. Let's get baking. Down below in the description box, you'll find a list of the ingredients and their amounts. Preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 Celsius. Now let's add 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, plain flour. You could also use bread flour if you like. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of white granulated sugar. And if you want your cinnamon rolls to be a little more sweet, then you could do 3 tablespoons of white granulated sugar. But there is sugar in the filling and there's sugar in the glaze as well. 1 tablespoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then come in with a whisk or a fork and we'll just whisk those together. Fantastic. And now we take the butter. This is 6 tablespoons of butter and I just cut it up into little cubes, and you want the butter to be cold. And then we want to just add the butter to this flour mixture. You can also do this in the food processor if you like. And then you come in with a fork or a pastry blender, and we want to just cut in that flour with the butter. Okay? And so you're just going to keep going like this. It's a lot faster if you just use a food processor, but that's okay. This is the traditional way to do these kind of pastry doughs. And so if you don't have a special pastry blender, then you can just use the fork. And you just go in there and you'll push the butter down into the flour. Just keep going like that, okay? And once you are done with that, I have 3/4 cup of whole milk. I'm just gonna put it all in there. And then come in with a wooden spoon and we'll just start to incorporate that milk. And then it's gonna form a dough. Also, there are no eggs in this recipe. No eggs at all. So some of you might be happy about that there's no eggs. Okay, and so once the dough comes together, we want to knead it for about 3 or 4 minutes just to make sure everything gets well incorporated. And I'm going to do that on a floured surface here. Just put some flour down. We'll take out our dough. And we'll just bring the dough together. And then we'll start kneading it, okay? And we definitely don't need to knead it. We don't have to knead it as long as we would a dough that was made with yeast. Just so it comes together really nicely for us. And if it gets a little sticky, then just add a little bit more flour. Once the dough is done, here we go. I'm just going to set this aside for a little bit. I'll grab a bowl and I want to add in 1/3 cup of packed light brown sugar. You can use dark brown sugar. 1/3 cup of white granulated sugar. So we'll just mix that together. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. You can't have cinnamon rolls without the cinnamon. We'll just mix that in. All right, great. And then now there's 2 methods that you can do it. You could baste the top of the bread with butter and then sprinkle this on there, or we can make a little paste. I have 1/4 cup of butter here. I'm gonna melt this in the microwave, or you can do it on the stovetop. I'll just pour that in there, and it's okay if it's not completely melted, as long as it's really soft is fine. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Put that in there. And now let's mix this together. All right, and so we have ourselves a nice cinnamon sugar paste. Awesome. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more flour to the surface here. Grab my rolling pins, put some flour on it, put some flour on the top of the dough, and then let's roll this out into a rectangle. And this dough is very similar to like a classic biscuit dough, but not quite as crumbly as a biscuit. And so you want to roll it out, so it's about that long. And then we want to roll it out so it's wide as well into a rectangle, roughly about 10 inches wide by 12 inches long, something like that. And then you can do just the softened butter and baste it on top, or we can add our paste that we made. And now let's just come over here and we'll just spread this out. I actually do it more the other way, where I just baste the butter on and then sprinkle on the sugar. But this way's a good way as well. So I wanted to show this method as well in case people want to do it this way. All right, until it is something like that. And then we want to roll it lengthwise. So we'll just pinch down with it and roll it tightly this way. And once it gets rolled, you kind of just push it down a little bit so it pinches that seam. And here we go. We got our nice little cinnamon roll snake. And now we want to cut these into the roll shapes, and you could use a knife and like every inch just cut them. But a trick that I learned in my 8th grade cooking class back when I was about 12 years old is to use floss. And if you've seen my other cinnamon roll videos, you watched me do it there. You'll take the floss and you put it underneath it, and then you'll go crosswise and then just pull it real quick, and it makes a little roll. All right. And I love this technique, and it doesn't smash the dough or anything around it. Sometimes a knife will smash the dough. It's okay, you can totally use a knife. And then I have a generously buttered 10-inch cake pan. You can use a 9-inch as well, and we'll put these rolls in there. Okay, and you can put them about an inch apart and rearrange them once you get everything in there, and it'll fill this thing all up. You don't have to use a round cake pan either. You can use like a 13x9 pan as well, totally fine. And now we are going to bake these in the oven for 23 to 28 minutes until they rise and get golden brown on top. On to that step. And when they come out of the oven, they'll look something like this, nice and golden brown on top. They'll smell amazing. And then we'll let them cool for just about 5 minutes. and then we'll prepare the glaze to go on top. And for the glaze, I have 1 cup of powdered sugar, also known as confectioner sugar or icing sugar. You may need a little bit more, you may need a little bit less. And then I have some butter here that I just melted in the microwave. You can do it on the stovetop. And this is 3 tablespoons of butter. And then I have a tablespoon of milk. And depending on how thin or how thick you want your glaze, you might add some more powdered sugar. Now we'll just come in here with a spoon and give this a good mix. You may also add like a half teaspoon of vanilla extract if you want. So that's a nice thick icing. That's how I like it, just like that. Perfect. You could also add some cream cheese to that as well if you want, like 3 tablespoons of softened cream cheese. I'm gonna put this over here and come back over to the rolls. Oh yeah, now we'll just take the glaze and we'll just spoon some on. I kind of go around with a thin covering first. You can just spread out the glaze on there. And there we have it, no yeast quick cinnamon rolls. Whole thing was made in under an hour. All right, and time to grab one of these out. The first one is usually the hardest to get out. I'm just using my pie server. Yeah, look at that. Pretty awesome. It's nice and soft and flaky on the sides. Amazing. All right, the quick no yeast cinnamon rolls are done. Turned out fantastic. Really easy to do. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm Matt Taylor. This has been another episode of In the Kitchen with Matt. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or requests, put them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thumbs up, down the corner, push it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Take care. Time for me to dive into this. Oh yeah, so excited. I'm not going to use a fork. Oh yeah, so good. Oh yeah.